Welcome to That Pedal Show. Dan here.
Mick here. Hello. Welcome to the show. Please subscribe, click the button, and go to That Pedal Show store to buy stuff. That's how we fund this show. Right, moving on.
Moving on.
You'll know from the title, this is the Compact Rig Challenge.
I mean, heavens. We're getting down to it now.
But, Compact Rig Challenge, Dan versus Mick, obviously. Gentlemen, you need to put a rig together that will do rehearsals and a small to medium gig.
Okay.
Your small gig might be different from ours, but anyway, we'll take that in the round. But as it's That Pedal Show, it has to be a wet-dry rig.
Nice.
That usually means 2 amplifiers, but who knows what creativity you can bring to this party.
Okay.
You can use any gear, but the rig must be maximum 2 carries by 1 person.
Okay.
That means 2 trips max from the car to the venue or rehearsal space. We ain't carrying stuff on no buses. We ain't going on no trains.
Sounds like you're writing a song.
All we're going to do is cars, right? We drive to our gigs. 2 carries. That means car, venue, car, venue.
Mm-hmm.
No more than that.
Okay.
1 person.
Right.
Obviously, the main goal is great tone.
Yep.
But bonus points will be awarded for minimising overall weight, size, and carry journeys.
Right.
If you can do it in a wanna.
I'm just... Yep, okay, I got it.
So, where will you compromise and where will you not? Gentlemen, build your rigs. Ow.
Okay, there's a few things I need in here. This. There you are. And you. This is a really interesting challenge. I think it's really great to limit yourself sometimes to stuff. I'm not used to limiting myself, it must be said, but I think it's a great idea. So I wanted to find a pedal board that would actually fit inside the pocket of my gig bag on my guitar. So I could do an all-in-one carry. I don't have anything like that here. The most compact board that I can get is the small Schmidt array. Now this is a fantastic compact board in TPS orange. The problem that I've got though is that I thought this had a shoulder strap, but it doesn't. So I'm going to have to improvise something. Cogmeister is a great all-in-one overdrive pedal. Your main drive section here, you've got a pre-boost and a post-boost. Pre-boost for more gain, post-boost for more level, which is great. Now, if my board was really tight, I was going to go with the D&M Drive. But because I do have a little bit more space, I think this is going to work well. So I was looking at the Crazy Tube Circuit Sidekick, which I think is fantastic. It's got a delay, a reverb, and a modulator in here. But because I have the space, the Halo. I think this is the most extraordinary sounding delay pedal. Signature pedal from Andy Timmons, made by Keeley. A wonderful thing. And being honest, I wouldn't play without this. So, you know, I could, compromise and say, okay, I'll just do an all-in-one thing and throw some modulation on there. And this sounds really good. But I wouldn't, in all honesty, I wouldn't turn up to a gig without this. So, At the moment, that's my drive section. This will be the delay, and this will be my modulation. But what I do with my wet-dry is that this will go into the amp with more headroom, but this will actually go into the dry amp. So when these are on together, the delay is clean into one amplifier and my modulation is directly into the other. And it sounds incredible. Boost there. This can go up here. This can go here. Right, I've run into a problem. So here is my Cogmeister, right here. Nothing fits next to it. Can't get that in there. I can't get that in there. I can't get the halo in there. So what I'm going to have to do, unfortunately, is say goodbye to you. D&M Drive. I can hear Mick next door. I think he's coming in to steal my secrets. D&M Drive goes there. Expression pedal goes there. Tuner goes in there. I mean, that's still going to be tight, but I can do that. Get some flat cables in there. Then...
Oh, Daniel.
Oh, Michael.
Have you got any humdingers?
I do.
There were 3 or 4 kicking around.
I will
a single one.
allow me to find you one.
Thank you.
Okay, so... Okay, to the right, to the right. Yeah, you. Turn around to the right. Okay, walk forward, and I'll get your humdinger.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is where we're at. I need the tuner. The expression pedal is for the speed and the Redwing. So the way that I'm going to run this is by altering the speed with the expression pedal, and yeah, you'll hear it, but just the control over that is huge. And for my modulation tones, that will give me all I need. I will have, let's see, if I have the Redwing over here and I have the halo up here, I think that's everything. I think. Okay, after 10 minutes of trying to squeeze this on, I'm so sad, but this is going to have to go. Okay. Oh, hang on. Give me a minute. Oh, good Lord. Oh, man, that was tricky. But I think I've done it. So, Redwing on the bottom. There's other pedals up here. Tuner on an angle at the top. It's a little bit messy, but it will work and everything will fit. Okay, time to wire this up. Mick will be delighted to know I've found his DoD expression pedal. It's really important that because this is going to be on the isolated side, it's really important that the case isn't touching anything that's on the non-isolated side. So see, I come out of the isolated side of the humdinger here and into the in here. From there, I'm going to go wet side here. And that is going to be to that output there. Right. Because I can't get... So there's my guitar input here. I'm going to have to change that. So this will be my guitar input. And then... That's nice. That will work. And then from the out here, we're going to the humdinger underneath. That looks like all the audio is connected. Okay, it fits just about. Right, let's just power it up. It's pretty tight, but yeah, I don't mind that. That's pretty good. Okay, it's all powered up. everything is working. I've had an idea of how to do this all in one carry. First things first, I need to make sure I can get the lid on. Lid. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, please. What are you catching on? Oh, I think I've got it. I got it. There we go. Whew, that was close. Okay. So, this fits. So, here are my 2 amps. Okay. AC 15, Fender Princeton. Right. So, this is
I'm not looking.
easy.
I'm
Okay.
not looking. I'm not looking.
Here's my pedal, and here is my gig bag. So the idea, and let's see if this works. If I unclip this here, and I thread this through the handle of the pedal board, and I come back here, it should be, fingers crossed, let's see if this works. Right, I can get that all in one. Single carry! Ah!
Okay, this is a challenge. So Dan and I, no stranger to wet-dry rigs, as you know. Usually use 2 amps and a pedal board. Dan tends to put his stuff all on one pedal board. Of late at gigs I've been using 2 boards. Actually, there's a couple of things on here you shouldn't see, but I'm going to show you anyway. So a couple of stages of overdrive and an octave. It's got a boost in it as well. You'll see more of that in coming months. Wobbly, delay, that works for me. But in addition to that, I usually run extra reverb and the rotary speaker of some kind into the second amp. So 2 boards, which of course is well beyond spec for this rig. So I want to do a mini version of that with all the essential elements. Amps wise, I guess, you know, 2 combos is 2 things, isn't it? 2 heads and 2 cabs is 4 things, to state the bleeding obvious. I'm wondering if I can. This is a cab that Dan and I really like the sound of. Let me just pull it off a sec. Sorry, I've got an injured right hand, so I have to do everything with my left. In the back, you'll see 2 Celestian Golds, 10 inches. And given that we're looking at a compact rig, I'm thinking of just jimmying that a little bit and separating the speakers, having 2 inputs and make it 2 speakers in one cab. So it's wet-dry in one cab. And then I've got to find either 2 heads to drive it with, 2 little heads, or I'm wondering if I might be able to use this and put a preamp on the board, which makes the board bigger, but only 1 box to carry. So we're 2 boxes. But 2 boxes could be 2 combos. Couple quick thoughts on pedal board size, okay. That is a Pedal Train Nano, I think, or Mini Nano, something like that. This is the next one up. So that's that big. And a Schmidt-Array SA250 out of its case is about that big, which is a little bit bigger, but not a huge amount bigger. Not considerably heavier, and of course on the pocket of the bag you would have a pocket for cables and stuff. So kind of going micro on the pedal board is only of benefit if it can go in the pocket of your gig bag or in some other way strappable to something so that you don't have to physically carry it. If you've got to physically carry it, size becomes much less of an issue. Given that I'm going to want at least 2 stages of drive, a wobbly and a delay on there, and it's going to have a humdinger to do the split for the 2 amps and phase reverse and all that. is going to be the SA250, because I can get all the power gubbins inside it with the splitter, all the pedals. It's bigger than a Pedal Train Nano, but actually it's not that much bigger. So that's how I'm going to proceed. Now to just choose the pedals. Okay, the first part of the pedal board is relatively easy. Absolutely, always and forever, Harmonious Monk's going to be on whatever pedal board I have. I love the harmonic tremolo and the ability to have amplitude tremolo as well. Delay, always have an echo of some kind. I'm really loving this at the moment, the Caroline Megabyte, sorry. And the question is, will my Free the Tone Future Factory take up too much space where I can have my 4 presets that I'm really used to, this simple tap tempo? Gain pedals is more difficult because if I go with the 50/50 power amp, I have to have a preamp on the board. So the Keeley Juggler Mark III would be the Mark III would be the one that I would use. And if I don't choose that, then obviously I've got more space on the board for more overdrive pedals and just use 2 normal amps. But I kind of want to go with this as sort of proof of concept, just to see if it could work. Right, stuff that I know then. Harmonious Monk's going to go there. That'll be last in the chain. It might go up top, but anyway. Delay will be second last in the chain, so that can go there. I think we've said the Juggler is going to go on there, which is quite big. So I've essentially got room for 1 more overdrive pedal. It's either going to have to be the Warthog, which I love for my sort of grittier distortions and fuzzy type tones, but what I don't have is my beloved mid-boosty tube screamery type tone. Oh, if I can get them both on there, I might try that. Let's see. My, some fairly considerable time later, here's what we're going with. So confusingly enough, first in line will be the Warthog, then Tube Screamer, then Juggler. Then the signal will be split by the humdinger in this rat's nest underneath here. Now, you know, a lot of people look at that and go, oh my God, what a nightmare. Actually, most of my boards look like this underneath, so if there's a problem, you can fix it really quick. It's not all cable tied down. I'm not touring, it's not the end of the world. Anyway, out of the Juggler preamp into the humdinger, one half will go off to the dry amp and the other half will come out into the delay, back out to the Harmonious Monk, and out from there to the wet amp. My main power supply is going to have to be outside the board. I mean, maybe I could have got it in there somehow, but great. So they're all working. So that needs to go under, that needs to go over. We should be able to do that. So input of that, I think, because it's coming out of the Tube Screamer. The input of the Monk needs to go to the output of the delay, so that's that. It's a really stupid cabling job that I've done, because I've gone in, along, up, down, up, out. So that is really dumb, but that was the only way I could fit them on, so let's persevere. Blimmers, after a very great deal of arsing about, the board's finished. I had a problem with the Juggler power supply. Ages ago, Dan made me this dual supernova thing, which gives enough current. This requires 12 volts, at least 700 milliamps center positive, which is very unusual. So Dan jimmied me this together, but for whatever reason, something's gone awry and I just can't get it to power up. So I'm having to use an external power supply, which is more hassle. A dedicated one for that, but everything else is running off the board's own supply, so that's one to fix for the future. But anyway, rat's nest. My wet output is here, and I've wired my dry output to be on the back on the green one there. You can just about see that. So hopefully, just to explain that signal chain again, Warthog first, Tube Screamer second, Juggler third, split, half goes off dry, the other half goes delay, Monk, wet. So now I've got the amps to deal with. Speaker cab. Speakers here are wired in, ooh, what are they, 16 ohms? Yeah, so they're going to be wired in parallel. to make 8 ohms for the cab. So what I can do is disconnect this connecting wire and just put an extra speaker wire on these terminals, and then the 2 speakers will be separate, 16 ohms each, but I will just check that. I'll go and get my soldering iron. So the plan is to just gently unsolder this, undersolder these connections. Now I guess ideally you would do something to protect the speaker cones, which I'm not doing, but just in case you get a drip of solder on one of the cones. So that's that one. Do I need to take this one off? Yes, I do, I think. Sorry if you can't quite see this. I'm struggling with the camera angle and I am running out of time. Running out of time like this is where you really start to make mistakes. So my plan is to take this old speaker cable and make it sacrificial and just attach one end to the speaker. There we go then. Sacrificial speaker lead, connection made, and I've just put some tape in there to stop the stress on the joint if it comes to that. Obviously this isn't a long-term solution, it's just to see if it'll work now. So there we go, pedalboard made, power problem solved, speaker cab rewired. If it was tonight's gig, I think I'd be screwed, but as it is, it's that pedal show, so let's go. I'm having to click with my bad hand.
Right, okay. I should have picked that up.
Which,
anyway.
you know, might tee into what I can carry. Right, Dan, you got 2 carries.
Okay.
0.
What is this 2 carries you speak of? And I'd just like to say, I did carry this whole thing across the car park, so it does work, and I'm trying desperately not to hit the mic.
Too late, you've smacked it.
So I'm trying not, and then not to move my chair. There we go.
Okay, Dan has just about managed a 1 carry. I'm going to say the likelihood of that guitar slipping off your right arm and taking out the amp that you're carrying is high.
Not with my manly shoulders.
You did it. You did it. Dan did a 1 carry. Okay. We'll do that in a sec. I've got a 1 carry, 2 carries, I think.
Well, yes, you've got a poorly hand.
I have a broken bone in my right hand, so I am still carrying something. 1 carry. Get bored?
Yes, very good.
Carry number 2. Hand free for waving to fans.
Excellent, excellent.
So I think you beat me there, mate.
Yes, but I reckon...
I've also got 2 guitars.
Yes, there you go.
Shall we set up?
Let's do that. Okay. We had to bring everything, right? All of our cables, power leads, all of the shenanigan.
Yeah, that's what I've done as well. So Gibson ES345.
Very nice. So my little tiny Schmetterray board.
I'll just put my cases in the floor in the way of everybody.
Are you a drummer now?
So obviously you'll have to suspend reality in that I have got 2 guitars. My ES345, a guitar strap.
Okay.
I can hire you a strap, Dan.
It's all right.
£100
Look
a song.
at that.
And my Fenderson Gibsocaster, which has no space at the end.
Okay.
So I've managed to bring 2 guitars. Again, I'll just put this in the way of everybody.
I've only managed 1.
You only need 1, Dan.
I only need 1.
I too have a Schmitterray SA250 board.
Do you?
Which you'll see in the vlog.
Okay.
So no need to really explain that. Tous les câbles sont dans la poche là.
I was going for a pedal board that would fit in here.
Yeah, I tried.
Yeah.
Discussed it, but
Couldn't make
was
it.
disgusted by it.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Put that in the singer's weight. Maybe we'll do the big reveal in a minute, eh? Oh, I'll trade you your forgotten guitar strap for one forgotten IEC.
Okay, done. Done. Even. We're back to being even.
Yeah. I had to hire one off the sound engineer who really is looking at me funny. Rat's nest, as usual. What's going on here then?
That's because I didn't have any long cables.
Do you want to trade a long cable down?
Yes, that would be fabulous.
I own you.
Okay, you do. You owe me still.
To be fair, I did steal the two best long cables that exist in that pedal show. I do. Have you tested your rig?
No.
No, nor me. I literally have genuinely no idea if it's going to work or not.
No.
Should we do the pedal board reveal?
Okay. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Wow. Expression pedal, tap tempo.
Yep.
2 gains, 3 gain stages.
3 gain stages.
Yeah. I've obviously got 1, 2, 4 gain stages.
Yes.
A wobbly and a delay. You've got a delay and a wobbly.
Yep.
So it's very similar, really.
It's not bad.
You've also got a tuner, which I couldn't be bothered with.
Well, I would have to have a tuner.
Yeah, I kind of would, but I think I'm going to be okay with the headstock tuner.
Yeah, okay.
Which is a bit of a cop-out. I probably would, in the real world, have a tuner.
Right.
As you know, I hate tuners. Right, power up. No doubt it's a beacon of tidiness underneath your board.
Oh, it's incredible.
You fully documented that in the build process, I hope.
I documented it to a point of... Look, the overhead camera's on, right?
Yeah.
So, here we go. So, the generator there, isolator, which is loose, and underneath there's the humdinger.
Yeah, tidy.
So, it's not tidy, that's an absolute disgrace.
So's mine. I have shown mine in the little vloggy bit though, right. So... Right, I sincerely hope...
Okay.
Yeah, mate, it's a line check, not rehearsal.
Sorry.
In the search for a headstock tuner, we have, well, at least 4. Can I find one? No.
You can find one, but it's run out of battery.
Yeah, lesson learned. Okay, let's see if this amp works then. I'm sort of intrigued. Out of phase?
Out of phase.
Obviously, I would check before getting to the gig.
Mm-hmm.
Great, that works.
Ah.
In order to fit it into the case,
Right.
next to the juggler, I had to leave the power unplugged.
Okay. Okay.
Because otherwise, this little tiny cable here
Would stop it from shutting.
would stop the lid going on the Schmidt array.
Okay.
Proves it's true bypass though, eh?
Yep.
Line check done. Let's click and come back.
Okay. Booba scooba.
Finally, after a bit of mucking about,
Yeah.
looking good, I would say.
Yeah. They're both strong contenders.
Did you explain your signal flow and everything?
I did.
Okay, so we
I
don't need
did.
to go through all of that.
No, but yeah, okay, we don't need to, but I will do.
Yeah.
Because I need to explain to you what's going on.
Yeah, we'll talk to
It's
that
a bit different.
as we... Oh, is it? Okay. as we get to it. All the gigs I've done this year, there's not been space for 2 amps.
Okay.
There hasn't been. So that's why I chose this. And I was kind of interested. So I've separated the 2 speakers off the power amp.
Such a great idea.
You've obviously gone from the Princeton and the AC15, 2 of your favourite smaller amps.
I love that combination. I've really gotten into pairing a 10-inch with a 12-inch.
Yeah.
It doesn't couple the same way. I don't get this loud, excessively loud thing, which obviously is wonderful, but I can be in control of the volume but just get the tone I want. And I love this. It's a magic combo.
Let's have a listen to the amps then.
Okay.
No pedals, let's just listen to the amps, see what you got.
Okay. So we'll have a listen to the Vox by itself.
Great.
It's great. Right, now I'll dial the Princeton on top. Now, there's reverb in the amps.
I've just realised a massive omission.
What?
I haven't got any reverb. Because I'm so used to having it in the amp.
Okay.
Oh no, that is a nightmare.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to be clever with my delays. Okay, I'll do the same thing. So as we might have covered earlier, guitar straight into a power amp is a pretty boring thing. So you really do need a preamp, which is what the Juggler's doing. Bit of work to do there on the EQ. Sounds kind of flat to me.
I don't know, man. I think it sounds. How good it tends.
Yeah.
I think it sounds fantastic. The amount of bottom end in that cabinet is incredible.
Yeah. I'm not loving the bright switch at all.
Okay.
So I'd rather just crank the treble up.
Yes.
And get that going. Yeah, we'll dial it in as we get going. Gain stages, talk to me.
Okay, so I go into the tuner, and then the first is actually the ODR-C, then into the D&M Drive. The reason for that is I've got a boost after the ODR-C and before my side of the D&M.
Oh, so you've split the D&M.
So, well, no, I've got it's coming out of here into here. So if I want, so this is the ODR-C just gives me my sound, but a bit more.
Okay.
Right? Now with your side of the D&M, because that's coming after this, I had to do it like this because it's literally the only way I can make the board work, right? But because the boost is after this, I get that and a lift, right? Now, your side on the side. Now with my side, what happens when I kick the boost in? I just get more distortion. So I can use it as a lift with this side and a gain boost with this side.
Okay, yeah.
So really cool. That's still the prototype. And it's still wicked. I was originally going to have the Dan Coggins, the dinosaur.
Yeah, the dinosaur Cogmeister.
The Cogmeister.
Sure.
But I just couldn't make it fit.
Yeah.
So with organising my shenanigans thusly, it works. Now, I can't go any louder than that.
To be fair though, you hit 106.
And that's fine.
We did say small to medium gig. Now that's going to be too loud for small gigs, in a lot of modern places. But that's
Sure.
fine. You can just turn down.
That's right. But I can use with the pedals off.
Yeah.
I can use that clean sound from the amps just sort of on the edge. And
sounds
that works
great because both the amps are in a place where they're working very nicely. Sound very much like guitar amps, which obviously this is never going to do. And the built-in reverb, it's not lacking in volume. Certainly doesn't have the
heft of that. But I'll be very happy to gig with this.
Yeah,
I'm really happy to gig
in some ways much more usable because it's a volume that makes more sense.
Yeah, I'm not going to get shouted at.
Well, you probably would in a lot of places.
Yeah,
but anyway.
but they won't hear me over it, so I won't hear them over it.
If we haven't said it already, why didn't you just use a quad cortex or a whatever? That's not really our world. So I would never choose that kind of thing.
No,
we got to keep it.
I completely understand why some people do.
Yeah,
just not.
No,
we just
never would be a choice I would willingly make, even though it would be a true, barely half a carry. Because you've got guitar,
stick it in your pocket,
quad cortex or helix, and then straight to the PA.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, not really mine and Dan's thing. Okay, gain stages for me then. I've got to get this EQ sorted out, which we'll do as we'll go along on the Juggler. It is quite because it has such an enormous array of sounds in. Just getting it set up initially sometimes can be a bit of a challenge.
Sure.
Anyway, we'll get to that and I'll plug in some humbuckers.
Have you ever used the Juggler into the 210s before?
No.
Right.
So the 10s are going to be given a bit more.
Yeah, I think it sounds magnificent. Yeah. But
Okay, so we'll come to the Juggler's gain bit in a minute, but the pedals, I would use the Thorpe Warthog always pretty much first in line as a gain pedal because I've got all the louder solo-y things I need here and here. This, although it does sound great in that function, is my higher gain sound if I need it at lower volume, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you're playing like a rhythm sound and you need quite a fat sound, you can dial up the overdrive a bit, turn the volume down, and not get a crazy volume boost.
Yeah, sounds good.
It does. It is, something is pushing the high end a little bit, so this tone control gets darker as you turn it around, so you can push that back. It's also, I think, hitting the juggler front end, it's making that cave in a little bit. There was a little bit of caving in going on, which is really nice. So that's what that's for. It actually, at lower gain, it sounds really good too with humbuckers, which I'll try again in a minute. But wow, there's a lot of bass going on here. Huge amount of bass. Tube Screamer should do what we know that it always does. I chose the 10 not to be kind of all cool and hey, I've like the TS10 like John Mayer. I chose it because it's got top mounted jacks.
Oh, of course.
And it fits in the board.
That was my drama.
Side mounted jacks wouldn't have gone in.
Yeah.
So TS10, and it's a nice change to TS10. I think as you go 8, 9, 10, they get kind of less overtly mid-honky.
Okay.
Although they still are that.
Yeah, sure.
And I find the TS10 is the least of those. So
right.
I am just going to dial in a bit of delay because I've made
hard work, right?
Massive error by not having reverb. So let's get a delay going.
Stank face.
Just doing the TS job.
Beautiful.
Really nicely. I'm not quite sure what would happen if I turned it on after the Warthog. Let's see. Might just cave the juggler in too much.
Come on. That's fantastic. And that's just with the juggler just on. You haven't even used any of the
clean side, yeah. Now, I actually think the other bits of the juggler work better with humbuckers than they do signal coils.
Oh, okay.
So just quickly. Actually, that sounds killer. Woo!
That is awesome.
And then more.
You got to be happy with that.
Very happy. When we get into the other sound, I'll explore the delay and the monk in a minute, and then I'll use humbuckers for that so you can hear all that again. The delay, just to complete the wet-dry bit, the delay is only going to one of those sides, as is the Monk, which we'll get to in a sec. Actually, I'm really happy with that.
Sounds incredible.
I think there's still some tweakaroo to do with the EQ, but
if you swapped the megabyte out for the collider, you'd be home and hosed.
And you'd have the reverb as well.
Delay.
I really love that delay.
I know,
really love the way
it is really
sounds.
nice.
And this might be useful to some of you if you're not used to using delay in this way, if you're used to longer repeats, if you don't have reverb, setting it short like that, almost like a slap, it's this long. Kinda does a job, not exactly of a reverb, but it fills it out in the same way that a reverb
like Andy
does.
Timmons never used delay.
Yeah.
So never uses reverb.
Yeah.
He just uses delay in that fashion.
But with longer repeats that fold in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on then. What have we got in terms of fun stuff?
Okay, so
Your wet part.
Yeah. Well, what I've done, I've been playing around with this thing, and which I'm really loving.
In D minor.
In D minor. Okay. So Halo,
Hello.
I just love the sound of this thing, and using the external tap down here.
I love that you've got an expression pedal and a tap tempo.
Come on. So again, so the halo and the wet signal. Yes, sir.
Quick observation.
Yes, sir.
Notice how we've both got our tap bottom right.
Oh, nice.
Deliberate. Very deliberate.
Lovely.
I'm not doing it with this hand.
Yeah, so external tap. So
That sounds absolutely killer.
it is such a beautiful sounding delay that they've managed to get that much functionality in a delay that size.
Yeah.
So for a compact board, I would absolutely go for the Halo. I love the sound of the thing.
I think all of it, you know, the Nordland that you had on there, the 2 amps sounding like guitar amps.
Yeah.
And it just, that is a killer sound.
Yeah, I really dig it. But what I'm doing, I love modulation going to the front end of an amp that's working.
Yeah.
Right? So where I've split it, I've got one side going into the Halo, into that amplifier. Hello. But the other side, I've actually got going into the Redwing.
Oh, cool.
Going into the Vox.
Right.
Right? So that when you hear the Redwing, it's in the Vox.
You would swear it was stereo. You would swear it was stereo. Well, I guess it kind of is in a way.
Well, it's delay in one amp and flange in the other amp.
Even the modulation you would swear is stereo.
Yeah.
Because it's like, even though it's only in 1 amp, it's doing this. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I've really gotten into that, right? So if we just hear... But when the delay's on, the delay hits the other amp and there's no flange on. So then you get this.
That is killer. What I love about it, it sounds like you. It
Yeah.
totally sounds like all the things you love the most. What's the expression pedal doing?
Just changing the speed
To
of
go
the
from
Redwing.
flange to chorus.
As the modulation speeds up, it just sort of flangey, chorusy, rotary thing. It's sort of,
Yeah.
if I, without anything else on,
I couldn't hear quite how fast it was going.
I mean, I've got that turned up quite loud, but into the amp that's already giving, I just love that modulation thing. But if I do that with delay after it, it's too mushy. But the delay just into the open wet amplifier.
Yeah,
Stick a fork in
we
me,
did a
I'm
show
done.
recently on parallel reverbs, and it's a similar sort of concept
Exactly.
where one effect doesn't affect the other effect, and therefore they stay clearer in the overall mix. That is absolutely killer, and it's totally you.
And as I was saying, I wouldn't put a board together without the Redwing on it.
Yeah,
I just wouldn't do it. It's on a sort of permanent fixture on my board.
In my little vloggy bit, I said the same thing about Harmonious Monk.
There you go.
So Dan's world is, you love modulation, you so love it. I've come to love some of it
Sure.
as the years have gone by, and my two favourites are probably harmonic trem and rotary speaker.
Yeah.
Couldn't fit a rotary on. I do love the harmonic trem because you can also have the normal amplitude trem as well if you want. But in harmonic mode, here we go, and here's some humbuckers for fun. Oh, I know, I've turned it off. That's why it doesn't work. Yeah, so that swampy bluesy thing, which I really love and fits the kind of music that I would play. Tube Screamer probably not as cool with this guitar, I don't know. Pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
But I think where this guitar starts to work gain-wise is with the juggler, and I'm just going to increase the delay time a little bit as well. I dig it.
It's amazing.
I totally dig it.
Wow.
Quite often, I use a juggler sometimes on experience days, and it does sound great with single coils, don't get me wrong, but there's something about it with humbuckers that is that, dare I say, Dumbly sound.
Yeah, it really
and
is.
we've got a Dumbly front end, and we've got a fairly clean power section. We're on the way there. EQ to taste.
It's amazing, dude.
Yeah, and tap tempo, obviously, if you need it.
Yeah.
It's a really cool sounding delay, this.
It is. And with it on, I'm certainly not missing the reverb.
Yeah, I am a little bit.
Are you?
Yeah, for the clean stratty
Okay.
stuff. But check out this modulation, it's really nice. Harmonic.
It's pretty great, Daddy-O.
Want to try anything else?
No, I think I'm good. One thing that you and I never get to do is play together.
Okay.
So that'll be fun.
All right.
All right. You can make magic happen.
Oh, we can both make the magic happen, Dan. That was nice.
It's been a while.
Very pensive, Daniel. More pensive than sure, I would say.
So,
yeah, thank you.
what was immediately obvious, as soon as there was any sound in the room, I got no headroom left.
Right.
So, and it was cool, and it was the sound of breaking.
Were you there then?
Breaking up.
Were you?
I was on the edge. I couldn't go any louder.
Oh wow! I had miles.
You had miles.
Yeah, well, it's 100 watts, I suppose.
Yeah.
So,
but you know.
Okay, all right.
Fun
Scores on the doors. Load in. Dan wins.
Okay. Well, okay. Let's. Okay. All those things are periphery around the edge.
Yeah. Well, let's start from the beginning. Load in. Dan wins.
Okay.
He did it in a oneer. I took 2. Compactness. I win.
Yes, you do.
By a mile.
Yep.
In terms of
floor space.
What's very interesting about gigs is you can have vertical space.
Yeah.
So if you'd have found some way of stacking them on top of one another, maybe. But horizontal space is always at a premium, especially if there's lots of people in the band.
Yeah.
So I win. Compactness.
You do.
Sound. Well, that's completely subjective, isn't it? For you, that is you in microcosm.
Yeah.
Spectacularly so.
Oh, thank you. But likewise, being able to, that being on the edge, there's no drummer or bass player here, it's just you and me. I'm going to struggle with that.
At the volumes we are used to playing at.
Yeah. And
but some of you watching might find that hard to believe.
Thing is, the rhythm sections that we play with, when we need them to bring it, we've got to be able to match that.
It's also not about peak SBL as well, because you might be looking at the meter going 105, no one needs to play any louder than that. Probably true, unless you're in the Black Crows. But what you're talking about is getting the sound difference and the dynamic under your right hand at any point there. Because
exactly that.
If you start to hit in, it doesn't happen.
Exactly that.
Yeah, I think I had ended up having colossally more power because it is 100 watts. It's 50 watt per side.
But it's even at lower volumes, like the Warthog at lower volume.
It's such a great sounding thing.
It's killer.
Lots of tweaking to do. For my style of playing and for what I want to achieve, the only thing that I'm definitely missing, what would I change? I'd find some way of adding reverb.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah. I would find some more headroom.
Yeah.
But all my core sounds are there.
You could do that with one change. Swap the AC15 out for the Lazy J.
Yeah.
That would do the job.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you can decide who won. I'm going to say Dan won.
I'm going to say Mick.
So magnanimous.
But so far we're even Stevens.
Yeah. So it's up to you guys.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let us know who you think won.
Yeah.
That was great.
Good. Nice one. All right. Please subscribe. Click the button. It helps us. Also, please go to that pedal show store and buy merch.
Yeah.
It's the primary way we fund this show, and we're very grateful for anyone who buys stuff.
Yes. Massive thank you to our patrons on Patreon. So thank you so much for your support. We're doing giveaways through our Patrons, so check that out. Loads of fun. And join us on Monday for viewers' comments and questions.
When we can take all this to bits.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Brilliant. Excellent. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.